I was batch sewing a whole bunch of dresses up and they all had really gathered rectangle skirts, and my mother-in-law Jocelyn, she was helping me cut them, and she showed me this trick while she was cutting them of this pulling the thread method. She used the technique a lot when she cut curtains because they're long straight rectangles, and I was just like, okay, there's going to be a game changer for cutting and just making sure that the pattern that I'm cutting is precise. You get the cutting right, it makes a huge difference to the final garment, the way it hangs and just the finish of it.
Start by making a small cut in the selvage of the fabric. From this cut, find a loose thread and gently pull it towards you. This will create a visible line in the fabric. Use this line as your guide and cut along it until it disappears. If the thread breaks, you can continue the line by pulling another loose thread. Repeat these steps until you come to the other end of your fabric. This method works on most woven fabrics, but I especially like using it on linen, as linen can shift around a lot when cutting, and it can be hard to get a straight edge without this technique. I normally then line up the edge of the fabric to a straight edge, like the edge of my table, to double check the fabric has been woven on grain. Anytime I'm cutting a pattern that is rectangle in shape, I'll use this pulling a thread method to ensure the pattern is cut perfectly. I measure the length and the width of the pattern, and I mark those measurements onto the edge of the fabric. Make a small cut where the marks are and use the thread pulling method to get a straight line on both the width and the length. I cut along these lines until they meet, and now I have a perfectly straight pattern piece. Here I'm cutting my new pattern, the wind dress. This dress has 2 gathered rectangles for the skirt. I start by measuring the width of the skirt. This skirt is cut in half, or cut on the fold, so I'll need to double the measurement. Once I have the measurement, I line up my tape measure on the edge of the fabric and mark with chalk. I then measure the length of my skirt pattern and mark the measurement on the selvage of the fabric. I then use the same pulling thread technique to cut the width and the length of the skirt. Next, I'll take my pattern piece and mark in all the notches, like the pocket notch and the hem notch, so it all lines up perfectly when sewing.
So I hope you guys learnt something new that can be helpful for you guys in your sewing journey, and if you try this technique out, I'd love to know how you found it, and hopefully it's a game changer for you like it has been for me. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.